The newspaper lay in the pile on the bench, taunting me. Chase left it just sitting there for anyone to grab, including myself. Newspapers are what started all my problems in the first place, and are why I'm stuck working in this bar. I didn't even notice when Chase brought in the damn thing. I had a paper shredder next to the entrance, just to make sure anyone would shred any documents they picked up from a certain year. Besides my own particular interest in not seeing newspapers, the last thing I needed to deal with was a newspaper from 500 years in the future, ending up in the hands of some fool. If they brought it back to their time to show all of their friends, the next thing we knew, leaders would be assassinated, governments overthrown, and there would be a big mess to clean up. Besides leaving behind the newspaper, Chase hadn't even fixed what he had gone back to do. All he had to do was catch some pesky teenager, before they warned some world leader, I forgot his name already, about his assassination. It didn't even matter who the leader was to me, but Chase kept going on about something about the Civil War, top hats, and Reconstruction. Whatever. People live, die, and so on, but as long as they do not mess with time, it's none of my concern. The only concern I have is simple. Transport morons back to their time. Also, I try putting the fear of time in them to prevent repeat offenders. Once Chase catches the time jumper, he's talked to and taken back to his time after a scare, smack, drink, or whatever else it takes to convince him never to sneak into one of the time portals again. People were always trying to go back in time through portals to fix major events in time. The time portals were barely guarded. They were supposed to be used exclusively for research purposes, and that worked most of the time. However, almost on a daily basis, someone would get the idea in their head to go back and alter things. Humans never had to pick up the mess of their foolishness. The problem with trying to go back to fix an event is that time would begin to unravel. The unraveling would start with just singular people, ripping them into nothing. Gradually, it would take larger and larger parts of the world until there was nothing left. It was always a risk to get caught in the mess and ripped into nothing when we went back to stop people, but it rarely ever happened. I am essentially a school bus driver for one of the Fate Police, Chase, except my bus is actually a time-traveling bar, and Chase doesn't look much like police. He's generally decked out in a mohawk and atrocious cowhide material from the 20th century, with a look as if the world was telling a joke in his hazel eyes, all the time. Our job is to fix anyone who is going back to change things, or even anyone who wanted to go back and stay. The theory is that even one person out of place would ruin time. This is an exaggeration, because people went through the time portal all the time, never to be found again. Thinking one person removed will unravel time is about as foolish as thinking a butterfly wing can cause a hurricane. At least, that is how I justify doing what I did. But I wouldn't have ever thought to do it in the first place if I hadn't looked at a damn newspaper. "What do you mean you've never read a police log?" Chase said. That day, Chase was trying a British accent. He was constantly altering his accent to go do his job, but I never saw how it actually helped. Sometimes, he forgot to turn off the charade when he was done. The terrible fake accents used to bother me, but one can get used to anything after years of the same thing. I replied, "I don't really see the point. Humans are obsessed with crime. There are so many crime-based television shows because people like to remind others they are lucky some other human hasn't chopped them up. I run no risk of being chopped up by other humans." "That isn't the point at all. Everyone gets something different away from the crime section. I personally go beat up wife beaters every now and again. It's good for the stress levels," Chase said. Chase unfolded a small-town police log in front of me. "Well, people usually can't do that," I said. The cuckoo clock bird popped out like it always did when the bar came to a stop. This way, passengers wouldn't jump ship while we were voyaging back to their time. "I've got to go. Read the police log just once," Chase said. "I think you'll enjoy it." While I was waving him off, I noticed Chase's bruised knuckles. Who does he think he is, anyways? Trying to fix domestic abuse by beating up a criminal? That just seems to further add to the cyclical abuse. But he claimed he scared him straight,